see you.
Good to see you again.
They told me they were gonna have some seniors up here, though. What are you guys doing here?
This is what you get.
All right.
Oh my God.
Are we ready to roll? I'm gonna wear these because I need them. Good afternoon. Before we start, I want to acknowledge the lawmakers who are our sponsors in the House and the Senate, who signed on as chief co-sponsors of the Road Safety and Fairness Act. State Representative Jay Hoffman, who's not here, who might be here. I want to thank him for his leadership in the House. And of course, my great friend and outstanding leader, State Senator Ron Villivalum, who chairs the Illinois Senate's Transportation Committee. You'll hear from Senator Villivalum in a minute, but to me, he represents the very best of what it means to be a legislator. He understands the topics, he works hard, he fights for his bills, and he cares about the people of his district and the people of Illinois. So I'm honored that he's here, and I'm even more honored to call him my friend. I also want to thank Ryan Grunenfelter, who is here today representing AARP Illinois, which has collaborated closely with us on this legislation. They've been an outstanding partner. I want to thank them for all of their hard work. We're not spiking the football yet, but I want to thank you for all of your hard work as we work on this important legislation. I want to start by saying, as Secretary of State, my top goal, as I mentioned, I knew he would show up. His name is Jay Hoffman. You'll be hearing from State Representative Jay Hoffman. I just said great things about you.
Well, you did.
Well, I can't say him twice.
You never would say in front of me.
Right. I have
Oh,
two.
my mom does it too.
I have two older brothers. Yes, I want to start by saying that as Secretary of State, my top goal is keeping our Illinois roads safe and always making improvements to better ensure the safety of everyone who shares them. This proposal will not only do that, but will finally align Illinois with nearly every other state in America that has already taken these steps on behalf of their citizens. The headlines covering this legislation have largely focused on the component of the bill that increases the age at which seniors have to come into the DMV to take a driving test. But equally important, this proposal establishes new procedures to allow family members to report unsafe drivers of any age based on medical or cognitive related issues that impact their driving ability. Currently, Illinois is one of just 5 states in America that do not allow family members to express concerns about the driving ability of other family members. Let me repeat that, 1 out of 5 states in America. The way the system works now, it would take a crash or some sort of traffic-related incident involving police to start the process to revoke a license based on a medical issue. In other words, if you're a concerned family member who has regular contact with a relative and are acutely aware of their diminished driving skills, whether it's a result of slower reflexes, a loss of vision, or waning concentration, you're basically out of luck. This legislation allows family members who have the best line of sight into a person's cognitive state to report those concerns and enable action to either get them retested or get them off the road. And while this proposal focuses on getting the most unsafe drivers off the road, it would also make driving standards for our safest drivers more consistent with those of other states. The latest statistics from the Illinois Department of Transportation reveal that in 2023, the crash rate for drivers 75 and older is just over 24 per 1,000 drivers. This is lower than every other age range of drivers between 16 and 74 years old. It's the safest category of drivers in the state. Age should not, let me repeat, age should not determine if a person should or should not have a driver's license. Driving ability and medical health should serve as the determining factors. Statistics show that age is not a hazard and a birthday is not an accurate gauge of one's ability to drive safely. Currently, Illinois has the strictest requirements for road exams of any state in the United States. Drivers 79 or 80 have to take a driving test if their license has expired. From age 81 to 86, they have to take a road test every 2 years, and at age 87, it's every year. This legislation would increase the age at which Illinois drivers must take a behind-the-wheel driving test from 79 to 87. Drivers 87 and older would still have to make an in-person visit into the DMV and take a driving test every year in order to renew their license. This measure will align Illinois senior driving standards with the rest of the nation while increasing safeguards, allowing Illinois to continue as the strictest state when it comes to driver safety and license renewals. We should work hard to find ways to treat senior drivers fairly while reining in the dangerous drivers who pose the biggest risk on our roads. I believe, as the others do behind me, that this legislation does exactly that. As of today, this bill had 87 co-chief sponsors in the House, which passed the legislation last month unanimously, thank you Jay Hoffman, as part of an agreed bill list, and 22, or I think we're up to maybe 26 co-chief sponsors in the Senate. 26, I think. We look forward to the full Senate passage in the next few weeks. Again, I want to thank AARP, our legislative allies, and those who have worked hard to understand this issue and vote accordingly for all their help in this. Next, I would introduce, again, my friend, Chair of the Illinois Senate Transportation Committee, State Senator Ron Villevall.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Ron Villevall. I'm State Senator for the 8th District on the northwest side of Chicago and covers the northwest suburbs of Cook County. It's an honor to be here today on the heels of the Illinois Senate Transportation Committee advancing House Bill 1226 to the full Senate floor today in a unanimous and bipartisan way. I want to first thank the Secretary of State and his team for their leadership, their dedication to this issue, and their proactive actions to make sure that we have moved the ball on this issue. I want to thank my partner in the House. We're standing together right now. Tonight at the softball game, we'll be standing on opposite sides, but for the moment, you know, I want to appreciate him and his leadership, Representative Hoffman, for shepherding this through the House, and last but certainly not least, AARP for their continued leadership and dedication to this issue. As we know, there are seniors that live in every district across the state that we've heard from. I'm so proud that we've moved to the next step in this legislation. Just to rewind for a moment, this process started actually in over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, where some of these requirements were lifted due to the nature of the pandemic. We then instituted in 2022 a study be conducted by the Illinois Secretary of State on age-related changes which might affect safe driving. You've heard from the Secretary. This legislation does two important pieces. One, it no longer makes the state of Illinois the only state in the nation that bases behind-the-wheel tests on the criteria of age, number one. Number two, it allows the Secretary of State to receive reports from family members if they have a relative that has a medical condition, a cognitive condition that may make it so that they're not able to drive safely. I want to repeat what the Secretary said. Seniors are the safest driving bloc in America. And with this legislation, we're taking a giant step forward to ensure that we do not discriminate against people based on age, and that we also have loved ones that are able to reach out with concern, with reports, if they have a relative that may not be able to drive due to a medical condition or a cognitive condition. So with that, I just want to thank again the Secretary, AARP, Representative Hoffman for their partnership on this mission to again do what's right by our seniors, but also continue to make our roads safe. And so thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next, I want to introduce Ryan Grunenfelder, unless you need to get going, Jay. Are you good? Okay. Ryan Grunenfelder, Senior Director of Advocacy and Outreach at AARP Illinois. Again, I want to give special recognition to AARP for being absolute partners in this endeavor. Thank you for helping us with the facts, and thank you for helping us get this message out to lawmakers and to the public. Ryan?
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Grunenfelder, Senior Director of Advocacy and Outreach for AARP Illinois. I'm here today on behalf of AARP Illinois' 1.7 million members in support of House Bill 1226, the Road Safety and Fairness Act, legislation that will, as the Secretary said, raise the mandatory age to 87 at which older drivers would be required to take a driving test before renewing their license. This proposal is a strong step in the right direction in ending a practice AARP has long opposed. Illinois AARP members have consistently reached out for years, asking why Illinois is the only state in the nation that still uses age as a factor to require people to retake their driving test. They have told us they believe the policy to be age discriminatory. Let's be clear, age alone is not a reliable predictor of driving safety. The right to drive should be based on functional ability and not age. I want to thank Secretary Janulius for his leadership on this important issue, for recognizing the need to modernize these policies that impact older adults across Illinois. I also want to extend our appreciation to both chief sponsors, Senator Villavalem and Representative Hoffman, for being champions of fairness and equity on our roadways. We are also grateful for the significant bipartisan group of dozens of legislative co-sponsors in both chambers who have expressed their support, and it's really impactful that this is such a bipartisan effort. They have heard their constituents on this issue and are ready to work toward ending this age discriminatory practice. This bill is more than a procedural update. It's a lifeline for thousands of older Illinoisans. Driving is essential, especially in downstate and rural areas, for maintaining independence, accessing health care, staying connected to loved ones, and participating in community life. AARP Illinois urges the full Senate to pass this legislation that ensures Illinois law reflects fairness, respect, and safety for drivers of all ages. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. And, before I introduce Jay Hoffman, Ryan makes a very good point. In this day and age, the headlines are all about partisanship and Democrats hating Republicans and Republicans hating Democrats and social media outrage. And I will say this, to me, represents a piece of legislation and an ability to work across the aisle, where we've had Republican co-sponsors, Republican votes pass unanimously in the House. This is what government should look like. Legislators who have done their homework and vote accordingly. So again, I want to thank members of both parties. And lastly, I want to introduce someone who's been a great friend and mentor to me, State Representative Jay Hoffman. Thank you. Jay.
Well, thank you, Secretary. I'll be brief. I think most of everything that could be said has been said. I would just like to once again reiterate that the Secretary of State has done yeoman's work in getting bipartisan support on this very important piece of legislation. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Leader Kiker, who on the Republican side of the aisle was a champion for this piece of legislation, worked hard with AARP, got this concept out there, and ultimately was a co-sponsor of the legislation in the House. I am so proud that we're standing here today. I cannot tell you the number of times my office has received calls from older individuals who, for no reason, who've never had a ticket, never had a warning ticket, still had to go and take the driver's test, and I think it was unwarranted, and statistics have bared that out. But as importantly, we've also received calls from family members who have said, I'm not so sure that my mom or my loved one should still be driving. He or she has a medical condition, a cognitive disorder, and I have no recourse, and there's nothing I can do. This sets up that procedure, still allows due process for the individual, and makes sure that our roads are safe. So thank you again, Secretary. Thank you again, AARP, and I'm sure that the Senate will pass this overwhelmingly in a bipartisan fashion.
Thank you. And with that, any questions?
So the age is a number, but you're moving the age from 79 to 87. Why have an age at all?
Because passage of this bill is important, and it's taken a lot of work to get it, well, I shouldn't, again, it's not complete, to get it to where we have. And I will just tell you, I don't think the bill would survive if we didn't keep that 87 cutoff, which is still in existence today.
Well, how do you determine what age then is the correct one? According to your bill and you, it's now 87.
No, it's, so the way it's currently, the law currently is that at 87, you have to go, an individual has to go every year. So we're just keeping that portion of it and eliminating the driving test for ages below. So we're not making a change at that level.
Secretary, if I can ask.
You look confused.
I am.
Okay, so, as I mentioned in my remarks, this was essentially, impact those under the age of 87. So there's certain guidelines which we can hand out to you every 2 years for those from, 79 to 87. At 87, it's an annual requirement. We are not touching that segment of the population. We are focused on the segment underneath that. Eventually, something that we can talk about, and look at doing. I would just tell you right now, our bill would not have passed, made it out of committee if we didn't keep that requirement in there, which again, still makes us the strictest state in America, but you know, politics is not about the perfect, it's about the doable.
Question to AARP. I'm just interested in kind of on the stat side of things because you've said that these are the safest group of drivers, but this group is also the lowest in population. I think it's around 4 to 5% are in this extended age range you've added. And so is there any stats where it's by population level? Is it by like a certain amount percentage?
Well, I can answer that for Ryan. The stats that, unless you want to.
Go ahead,
The stats that we mentioned are per driver. So it's based, it's already based, that percentage is already taken to effect. And I will tell you, the data bears it out. We've done an exhaustive study, as Senator Villivallen mentioned, that we enacted in 2022, which we did our homework first. We wanted to show the data. And I will also tell you, in addition to all the data in Illinois and nationally, which again, the data proves that we're out of line for being the only state in America that requires these driving tests. I will also tell you anecdotally, as someone who's on the roads quite a bit, when was the last time you saw a senior citizen gunning it past you, checking their social media, going 100 miles an hour? I mean, data and anecdotally, the evidence bears out that seniors tend to be safer drivers.
Secretary, if I could ask an off-topic question.
Sorry, Ryan, I'm going to take your thunder.
Do you plan to seek re-election? And if not,
Well, let's finish these for now. That's a fair question, but are there any other questions on this really important bill? We need it to pass the Senate. We really need the support of everyone. I feel confident, but today's press conference is in no means a way of spiking the football. So we have a lot of work to do, but I could not be more happy about the bipartisan success we've had so far.
do you plan to seek re-election, or can we see your name on the ballot for another race next year?
You will definitely see my name on the ballot.
For Secretary of State?
I imagine so, but I will also tell you, if you have not seen the headlines with Real ID, with our aggressive legislative agenda, I am pretty dialed in on the important work they're doing. We literally have lines throughout the state of Illinois dealing with this issue. We have arguments with the federal government on their implementation of this. There's a lot of things on our agenda that have not been completed. And not to give you the political answer, but I am laser focused on my job as Secretary of State, which, as Jesse White and Jim Edgar have told me, is the best job in government.
Follow up, your former Chief of Staff, Robin Kelly, announced her run for Senate today. Just your thoughts on her, and would she make a good United States Senator?
I love Robin Kelly. She's a wonderful human being. She's very special to me. Like I said, I'm pretty focused on doing my job. I haven't gotten into the politics of it. It's going to be, you guys are going to have the best year ever. Political reporters are going to have so much to work with all these races, Senate, Congress. I don't know what Jay's running for, and then the seats to fill those. So you guys will have plenty of ink to spread without even having to mention my name, which is great. Lets me work on my job.
Can I air a grievance while you're here?
A grievance?
Yeah, because
This is mostly about interrogative comments, not declarative statements, but go ahead.
When I'm driving on the interstate, on the I-55, very late at night, I have a huge problem of everybody has their high beams on when they shouldn't be on. So I find it very difficult to drive when the bright lights are coming into, my mirrors, and I can't really see properly. Have you had any discussions about lights being too bright at night?
That has never come up. I mean, it's happened to me before. But the good news is, if you want legislation passed, you have probably the most powerful guy in Springfield here. He's happy to work on new legislation. No, but we'll take a look at it. I will tell you, as I mentioned to start my comments, keeping our roads and highways safe are absolute priority. So if it's something we can look at, if there's data behind it.
Should have left earlier.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
But it's fair.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the little old lady from Pasadena would be the exception that proves the rule in terms of older people driving?
Little old lady in Pasadena.
She's the terror of Colorado Boulevard.
Is it bad that I don't know the song? Is that, I feel